Have you ever noticed that some people completely change when they get married? So the question is, did the marriage change them, or did the marriage simply reveal who they really are? We're going to take a couple different looks. Let's check it out.
The woman that I married at 23 is not the same woman at 33, and not the same woman at 43, and not the same woman at 53. Who you marry at 30 is not the same person that you're going to be with when they're 60. And my concern is that people marry an image more than they do a real person. Meaning that when we first got together, I married an image, your shape, your size, the needs that you met from me as a young man back then, not really taking in consideration the woman that you would become, how your figure would change, how you would change emotionally, spiritually, and also physically. And so the question is, can you handle me changing? Because it's just like Uncle Greg said, she's gonna gain weight. That's not a profile over everybody. That's just saying she's going to change. Can your love go beyond the change that we both will endure?
So he talked about image. And a lot of men marry due to the image that they first see from the female. This next video is getting ready to explain from a female's perspective of what happens before the change from what we see as men. Okay.
Things that I hear them say is, after I married her, she changed. So when I heard this lady saying, you know, we have to do all of this to get a man and keep ourselves this way and be in the dating scene and flirting and all of this, because that's not a part of who you are. So why don't you just be what you are and accept the man that comes to you as you naturally are? They typically don't want him.
Why?
Because he doesn't represent the image that they have for themselves in their mind. So I'm going to perform this thing. So now he marries you thinking that you keep yourself up all the time, that you cook, and all of the things that these ladies do. And then all of a sudden, soon as they get the ring, it's like, I don't do this. This is, I can relax, child. I don't have to do this anymore. And so I hear this a lot from men. But hearing this woman say this, and she said, I'm tired of performing femininity. Nobody told you to perform it.
Yeah. So you thought as a man it was going to be the same. You thought that she was going to continue to cook. She was going to continue to clean all the time. She was going to walk around looking just like you met her. Dolled up, eyelashes, makeup, hair, and then you actually get married. Or you get in a relationship with her and you see her with a bonnet on. You see her with no lashes. You see her with no makeup. Whereas before she was going to sleep with makeup on. You never saw the raw her. And you said, well, she changed. Well, maybe she just revealed who she really was.
That boy is good.
Sometimes we got to understand that we should be who we are and live the life and not have to put on a mask. She used the word perform because that's exactly what it is. Everybody is just performing. It's not just women, it's men too. We're bringing you flowers. We're opening car doors. We're pulling chairs. We're texting you, good morning, gorgeous. Have a wonderful day. How was your day? Make sure you pray. Women, you're showing a side of you that only the outside sees, right? So with your makeup, your hair, your nails, you know, this is the way or the image that he sees you. So this is the expectation that you set for yourself. Men, these are the expectations that you set for yourself. As men, this is what I will do, right? And then once that stops, then we say, well, that person changed, right? Well, maybe it was just them putting on from the get-go. Pretending, performing. When things like this occur in marriages, it's like you get confused. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. Like, what's happening to this marriage? Why are we falling off like we are? And a wise person said, if you can't explain it in the natural, it's got to be spiritual. So let's listen to the spiritual aspect of it.
Now, after my wife and I get married, something shifted in our relationship. It felt like out of nowhere, just warfare hit our house. Out of nowhere, we are arguing about everything. We are fighting about everything. We at each other's throat about everything. I am seeing all of her flaws. She is seeing all of my flaws. It seems like every week was replete with fights and arguments. I mean, we are just in battle all the time. And I'm wondering, man, what happened to that time we dated when we was in bliss? And now all of a sudden we are married. It's like we're two different people at each other's throat all the time. It was in that season, a man who I used to be in relationship with came to me and said, man of God, I had a dream about you and Lena. He said, I saw in the dream you were standing in the kitchen, you and Lena. A man walked up to you and whispered in your ear. Then he walked up to Lena and whispered in her ear. Y'all turned towards each other and started fighting. And then the man walked out of the room. As I prayed about that dream, man, I got revelation in my heart. That man in the dream represented Satan himself. And what the Lord was revealing to me in that dream is that after my wife and I came into a covenant of marriage, we became a target for the adversary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I realized that a lot of our fights, a lot of our differences, our arguments was being instigated in our hearts by demonic influences. And I realized that, watch, marriage is not only a covenantal relationship between a male and female, but marriage is also a picture of Christ and the church. Now it makes sense to me that in the natural realm we are fighting, but in the spiritual realm, every time the devil sees a biblical union, he sees something that aggravates him. He sees a picture of Christ and the church, and what he would do is take his knife of influence, lies, and deceit, and on that canvas, he will do anything he can to cut that canvas, ruin that canvas, distort that canvas, destroy marriage.
Woo, he was cooking. Have you ever heard of the saying, misery loves company? That is a spiritual sense. So let's say your hater or your friend sees you completely happy. You're happy with life. You're happy with your relationship. Everything is going great, right? And then they start bringing up old stuff. They start bashing you for who you used to be. They start throwing your past up in your face because they're miserable, because they're angry. They want you to feel how they are feeling. Misery loves company, and that is somewhat of what's going on with this spiritual realm stuff when it comes to marriages, right? The devil sees these things, right? And he's like, okay, y'all happy? Let me see how I can corrupt this, right? Let me see how I can, as he said, take this knife and just divide that connection. Let me see if I can cause some turmoil and cause them to argue and fight and bicker, because he gets off on that. So we not going to give him that. We not going to give him that, man. Let's work through our problems. First and foremost, make sure that you're being who you are and living the life. Let him see who you are as a woman. Let the woman see who you are as a man. And then you won't start with the false baseline of who the person that you plan on spending the rest of your life with or are in a relationship with is going to be. All right. I'd like to know what you guys think about this video. You think they were preaching? What do you think causes separation in marriages? Do you think it's people? Do you think it's the people around them? Do you think it's situations around them? Do you think it's finances? Comment down below. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe. But without further ado, it's your boy Q. I'm out.
That is a must. Wake up, get to it, ain't nothing about it. The only way to it is to it, no way around it. Before that we cruising like the Caribbean with mileage. I'ma always be solid, I'm a young brother with knowledge. Go do the science, dog. Always I'm like a pilot, dog. Look at my eyes, I'm tired, dog. The time that it takes, I'm aiming for the space. Gotta build my empire, dog. I make sales, not a buyer.